A couple of years ago, I made a top 10 list in which I listed what I thought at the time was my top 10 favourite Spider-Man outfits from Marvel's Spider-Man. Now, since then, there's been a couple new outfits added, so there is potential that I might go back and revisit that in the future. However, since that game first came out originally, there has been technically a sequel / standalone game in the form of Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. So, just like with the original Spider-Man game for the PS4, Miles Morales does also feature a wide variety of suits from different aspects of his comic books and also TV and film. So, I thought it would be a good time to have a look and cover what I thought, in my opinion, is the top 10 best suits from Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, I should mention, compared to the last video I made, there is going to be one slight difference. This is mainly going to be based on cosmetics. However, one or two suits do have additional features, which I will mention when I get to the entries. But yes, just wanted to mention that before we dive into the video. So anyway, let's take a look and see what is the top 10 suits from Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Number 10, the Winter Suit. Now, there is one thing I forgot to mention in the intro, and I might as well say it now before I go any further. This list will contain some minor and possibly major spoilers for the main campaign, so you have been warned just before we go any further. But yes, the Winter Suit, this is a outfit which you unlock after you defeat Kingpin's kind of gang before they attempt to take over Harlem. Then I believe a deaf girl, I can't remember the name of the character, so I do apologise for that. Because it's winter in Manhattan, she gives you kind of some winter clothing such as socks, a scarf and a hat, and earmuffs as well, which you kind of put over the main suit in the game. So I thought that was a bit of a twist. I thought that was a little bit of a twist. So that's why I decided to put number 10 on the list. Number 9, the Uptown Pride Suit. So this is another one of the suits in the game which is unlockable based on a mission. This one is unlockable after you complete all of the side missions in the app. So basically in Miles Morales you have the ability to go into an app by swiping on the kind of the touch screen at the front of the PS5 controller. Can't remember what it's exactly called, but yeah. So you have the option to go into that, do a couple of side missions, and when you complete them all, you get access to the Uptown Pride Suit, which is basically a way of the neighborhood, saying thank you for all the work you've done. And yes, personally, the way it looks is it's a little bit of the color scheme reminds me a little bit of Killmonger's suit, I have to say, so that's a little bit of an interesting thing. Other than that, it does look like the main suit, which I'll get to later. Bit of a spoiler on that. But yes, I do like the colours and the fact that it's kind of a thank you for doing all of the side missions. That's why I've decided to put it at number 9 on this list. Number 8, the Programmable Matter Suit. So with this one, this is another entry on this list actually. In fairness, this will be a theme which you unlock after playing the campaign. This one is unlocked after you after you find all the caches from the underground which they've stolen. So you work with the Danacast. I can't remember her exact name, so I apologise about that. But yes, eventually she leads you onto a bit of she informs you to a bit of information, and eventually you find one last cache, and in it you find programmable matter, in which you make basically Miles Morales' equivalent of the programmable matter suit that you see, so the Iron Spider suit that you see in the MCU. So like it has the ability to change its shape, and also has a little bit of an Iron Spider type combat system as well. which I think is a bit intriguing, and I don't think any other suit works like that in the game. So that's why I've put it at number 8 on this list. Number 7, the animated suit. So this is the first of the entries on this list that's not basically related to the actual main campaign, but I actually wanted to include this one because it looks pretty accurate to what you see on TV. So admittedly, I haven't actually seen that much of Miles Morales in the animated form other than the Into the Spiderverse film. But I have seen a couple of clips, and this suit does actually look pretty good. And also, I think it's one of the closer ones to the original comics, I think. So yes. But yeah, the design is neat. I like the way it looks in the game. So that's why I've decided to put it at number 7 on this list. Number 6, the Bodega Cat Suit. So to me, this is one of the more unusual ones in the game. And this is definitely one which, if you put it in real life, it definitely would not work. So, at the end of one of the campaigns, after you complete the Kingpin mission, not only do you get the winter suit, but a bit later on you also get access to the Bodega Cat Suit. So there's actually a cat in the game whose owner has named him Spiderman, which I think is a bit funny. So eventually you get access to take this cat around with you in a backpack, and with the cat wearing a Spider-Man mask. So that's why that's why it looks a bit different than some of the other ones, because it actually has a hoodie and a backpack. But yes, obviously in the real life this would not work because the cat, sadly, would fall out of the bag. But I just think it's a little bit more of a silly design, but I think because that actually kind of works. Like, if you want to just swing around New York with a cat in your backpack, then this is not a bad option, I guess. It's not, yeah, the description admittedly is not the best, but it's a bit of a funny one when you compare it to more the serious outfits. So that's why I decided to put it at number 6 on this list. Number 5, the Miles Morales 2099 suit. So for me, this is generally one of the best designs in the game. It's just the way that the colours blend. It also has a hood, and one of the more striking features is the fact that the light, there's actually light up eyes, and they actually generate kind of steam or smoke, which actually, if you think about it, swinging around New York, like, there is a possibility that visors or like eyes, like could fog up or freeze. So having heated eyes actually does kind of make sense. So yeah. Also, looking at the color scheme again, it has a little bit of a similarity to the Into the Spiderverse color design as well, which I think is, well, I think a lot of people might agree, is, if not the best Spider-Man film of all time, definitely in the top 3. So yes, the suit is really good, and that's why I like it, and that's why I put it number 5 on the list. Number 4, the Great Responsibility suit. So this is technically the first proper Spider-Man suit that you unlock in the game, other than the one that you start the game with. So this one is handed to you by Peter Parker after he goes to Sicaria with MJ, and he kind of leaves you a little bit responsible for like jobs in the city. So he gives you a Spider-Man suit to help like with your job. The way the Spider-Man suit looks actually is pretty good, because it kind of looks like a little bit of a mixture of a homemade suit, the classic suit, and maybe the standard suit from the Marvel's Spider-Man game. So it kind of looks like a hybrid of the 3, which I kind of like. Also, I don't know why, just seeing Miles Morales in like traditional Spider-Man colours is also a bit different as well, because obviously with Miles Morales he has his own identity. So seeing him in more of a traditional Spider-Man suit, I thought is a nice little origin, like a way to kind of see the development of the character, in which, so yeah, he starts off like as an apprentice, and then later on he becomes, well, not quite a master, but he becomes his own Spider-Man. So yeah, that's why I've decided to put it number 4 on this list. Number 3, the Into the Spiderverse suit. So for me, this is where the real bread and butter of the game begins, with the top 3 suits. And for me, the Into the Spiderverse suit definitely has to be in the top 3. First off, it comes from Miles Morales' best animated project so far, Into the Spiderverse, and of course I believe this suit will also be returning into the Among the Spider-Verse film later this year. Well, it should be later this year at the time of making this video. This also has one of the most unique features of any of the suits. Earlier I said that I wasn't really looking at abilities, but this one has such a unique one that I couldn't really ignore it. So there's actually a mode in the game where you can actually make the Spider-Man, so where you can actually make yourself look like you're moving in like maybe 15-20 frames a second. So it actually looks like you're, well, not the world around you necessarily, but it makes it look like that the way Spider-Man moves is actually from the Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse film, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse film. So yes, I think that's one of the most unique suit mods I've come across, and yeah, also the way the costume looks is, well, it's definitely one of the best. I think might be one of the best suits featured on film ever, to be honest, the way it looks. So yeah, that's why I couldn't ignore it, and that's why I've put it at number 3 on this list. Number 2, the Purple Rain suit. So this one is another one of those suits that you unlock later on into the game, but this one I think is more of a late end game, because this one you can only do after you meet Uncle Aaron, aka the Prowler. So as you can tell from the design, the colour is inspired by the Prowler's outfit from the game, and it actually has one of the few outfits on this list which has the mask looks a little bit more like some of the other Spider-Man suits that we've seen in Marvel Spider-Man. Yeah, like more pointed and narrow. The colour scheme in particular is really nice, like a blend of purple and green. And the fact that it's kind of family related because it's from the Prowler, aka your uncle, and he's trying to redeem himself after the end of the game. So yes, color wise it's good, the meaning wise is also good, but one other thing is it also has a utility belt, which I don't think any other Spider-Man suit, as far as I know, has in this game, and so it gives it a little bit more of a maybe not quite vigilante look, but when I see a belt, when I see utility belt, it makes me think of more superheroes like Batman. So I think that's a little bit of an interesting detail there. But yes, yeah, so this is definitely my favourite of the unlockable suits. However, there is one other suit which I always seem to go back to time and time again. So that's why it will be number 1 on this list. And now let's find out what it is. Number 1, the classic suit. So this is one of those rare occasions which I actually think that the standard suit is the best suit in the game. And let me explain why. So a little bit into the story, you're still wearing the Great Responsibility suit, but it gets damaged, and yeah, so eventually like Miles Morales is a little bit down on himself that he caused a massive amount of destruction, or helped to create it, or something like that. He becomes a bit of an enemy Roxxon, and yeah, he's feeling down. But thanks to Genki, yeah, thanks to him, like, he gets his spirits up and begins kind of a reimagination of what his Spider-Man looks like. So we get a little bit of a montage of like him like doing testing work, and eventually it results in the classic suit that we get in the game. So So the suit itself is a little bit of well, it's quite similar to the comics, and it just suits Miles Morales' identity really. So it looks sleek, the colours are good, and it just fits his character. So as a result, I think this is the best suit in the game, and that's why I've decided that I think this is number one of the best Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales suits in the game.